Welcome back, YouTube, and as you see on the screen, you got my girl, Jasmine Crockett. It's been a little while, but I have been paying attention to what she's been talking about lately. Nothing too outrageous. I mean, besides the stuff that she said in this video, and I might just clip up this video and make it into like different parts if I feel like it. But I want to focus on this last part because she made a comparison, and I want to pretty much talk about why that's dangerous, and then talk about what's going on in her area. I don't know if it's in her district per se. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure it's not, but you'll see. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in.
But what they're doing right now, it almost feels like, I've seen the memes about the purge and all these things. But as somebody who understands history, when I see ICE, I see slave patrols. Now, I never lived through the slave patrol period, but if you know the history of policing in this country, then you understand that they were born out of slave patrols. And now with the Supreme Court saying this, it's almost like you can just go grab them up. That is what they're saying. And that is a problem. We all should have a problem with that. But when you don't want to teach American history that includes Black history, then you lose out on the benefit of understanding that we have been down this road before and it was not good and we fixed it once. And it is a shame that we are relitigating this and we're going to have to fix it again.
So I'm going to stop her right there, right? End of the video. She said a lot. Trust me, I might clip this up later. Jasmine Crockett is one of those people, right, that causes issues later on down the line. Now, what do I mean by that? She's one of those people that makes comparison of things that happen in Black history, atrocities that happen in Black history, and try to compare it to things that are happening today to try to prove the point, to try to show just how bad things are. And her comparing the ICE raids and, ICE coming in and trying to get people that don't belong here and weren't born here outside the country so they won't commit crimes, and or that's just a proper thing to do because there's a proper system to get into here and everyone else has to do it, right? And so for some reason they feel like they're obligated to skip the line. Yeah, that's what ICE is doing. Slave patrols, yes, they were given power by the federal government to go out and catch slaves, but the way they did it is not comparable to what is going on ICE. They didn't just catch slaves, they tortured them, they maimed them, they assaulted them in various horrific ways. They sent dogs after them and much more. And the fact that you want to compare ICE raids to the atrocities that happened in Black history when it came to the slave patrols, the slave catchers, is grossly ignorant of you. And you sit up here and talk about history, then you would know damn well it's not comparable. It's not comparable. In this video, she talked about how ICE, shot a man in Chicago and everything like that, a migrant in Chicago. But what she didn't talk about was how that same migrant, right, ran over an ICE agent and had him dragging along with the car, and the way they stopped him was shooting him and killing him. Now that sucks. A loss of life is never good. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like they just went out and just started killing people. To compare slave patrols to ICE and what's going on is grossly ignorant. Grossly ignorant. And like I said before, she's the reason why you have those more liberal white people that want to jump online and say, well, this is just like slavery, or this is just like this is just like this, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You cannot do stuff like that. It cheapens the history of it. It cheapens the things that Black people in this country went through and all the pain and suffering that they went through because of things set forth within the federal government at the time. We are no longer there. Comparing ICE raids to slave patrols is grossly ignorant and just stupid. Truly is stupid. But let's jump into this next video, right? This news story is kind of old, but this is what people are trying to prevent. And I'm not saying that this is only because of them and that we only have crime because of the people that are here illegally, but we can't sit here and make it seem like, oh, well, they're just rounding up innocent people. No, there are some people out there, yes, that are being rounded up that may not have committed crimes besides the one of coming to the country illegally, but there are those out there that have been let go on several different occasions, like we're about to see right now, that should have been out of this country and they were just flying under the radar. And now with ICE coming out and doing their thing, how can we sit here and say, oh, well, this is a terrible thing?
And we are learning more about the suspect in a gruesome murder case out of Dallas. Police say the man attacked his coworker with a machete, beheading him. Tanya Izier with our news partners in Dallas has new details about the suspect's past.
You're looking at video of the man accused of cutting off another man's head, being booked and fingerprinted into the Dallas County Jail. Jordanis Cobos Martinez is being held on a capital murder charge and an immigration hold. But for this woman, what happened in Dallas brings back awful memories.
It's reshaped my life. for sure.
Records show back in 2017, Cobos Martinez was accused of carjacking her in California. Released on bail, he fled the state. She agreed to talk to us if we did not reveal her identity.
What he did and what he's done and what he's continuing to do, he has no moral compass in his body.
In 2018, Cobos Martinez was arrested in Harris County on multiple felonies. He appears to have spent several years in jail before pleading guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. He was then extradited back to California, where he was acquitted of the carjacking charge, but convicted of felony false imprisonment.
We have faith in our judicial system. As a community, we have faith that they will stand up and protect. And unfortunately, in this case, this man was able to get away with it.
At some point, Cobos Martinez was taken into ICE custody. ICE officials told us this afternoon that he was released from ICE custody on January 13th of this year because, quote, there was no removal flights to Cuba under the Biden administration, unquote. However, we found news coverage and even a government video from 2023 showing deportation flights to Cuba had resumed. We continue to ask questions about his dealings with the immigration system.
I do feel like a disappointment. This man's death could have been prevented if it was handled in an appropriate manner.
She says the system failed both of them.
I'm so sorry. I hope this family can find closure in this event.
In Dallas, I'm Tanya Iser.
And I guarantee you, Jasmine Crockett's not going to talk about this. This happened in her state, and she's not going to talk about it because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative of ICE being slave patrols just going through and just locking people up because they just want to all willy-nilly. It doesn't fit the narrative of, oh yeah, they're not going through due process. This is illegal. And about that, right? I'm not justifying them ignoring due process, but I find it interesting. They talk about people coming here illegally saying, well, they have to do it. They have to do it. Well, the immigration process is so slow, they have to do it. Okay, let's kick them out. Whoa, hold up there. You got due process. So let me get this straight. You justify them coming here without due process because there's a legit legal way of coming in here. But then when we try to kick them out, you're like, there's a due process. You can't do that. Maybe I'm crazy for pointing that out. I'm just saying, it's just a little bit weird. But let's look at it like this, right? She's comparing this to slave patrols. Let's pretend that this person is a slave. And God bless the ancestors, and forgive me for the comparison I'm about to make. Let's just say that this is a slave, right? And the people that apprehended him, ICE, were slave catchers. Let's pretend. In what world is a slave gonna murder a white person and then the slave catchers don't beat them to death and or maim them? But the ICE is slave catchers. That's what they are. That's what they are. People come out and this is what I'm talking about, and both sides do it. Don't be confused. Both sides do it. In this case, we're just talking about her because that's my homegirl. Like, I gotta talk about Jasmine Crockett. This is what I'm talking about with fear mongering. They're telling people these things and making it say, oh, this is what's going to happen. This was going to happen. And then when you look at the evidence to prove otherwise, they don't talk about it. She's not going to talk about this man that beheaded that Indian guy, right? For what seems like a mistranslation. She's not going to talk about that. She's not going to talk about how people throughout the country, right, have fallen victim and prey to people that have come here illegally, and yet for some reason they end up getting released. I'm not sitting here saying that the American citizens are perfect and they commit no crimes. I mean, I just did videos on them not too long ago. You're about to see that soon. But at the very least, we can manage the fact that we have people coming in here legally and make sure that they're not the ones committing crimes. Can we not? I don't know. Maybe I'm off. But that's it for this video. You guys already know the drill. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. Do you feel like, and this is a free place for anyone to talk about and say how they feel. I'm not going to censor anybody. Do you feel like Jasmine Crockett is correct in saying that the ICE raids of today are like the slave trolls back in, slavery time? Do you feel like that's an accurate representation? Or do you feel like she's full of crap? Do you feel like she's full of crock? Get it? Crock, get it. Yeah, like legit, just have a conversation down in the comments. I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts and your opinions because that's what I'm here for. And subscribe if you want to see more. Peace.